from the Vitality Stadium, live here this afternoon. The final Clarets Match live of the season. We'll bring you the two teams at the moment. Both teams are out on the field. There's the referee in charge. So we're all set to go near enough now here at the Vitality Stadium. Burnley in the changed shirts of yellow, with which they wore a fortnight ago against Crystal Palace when they won by 2-0 to get their first away win of the season. And away we go. We'll give you the two lineups in just a second, but away we go then here at the Vitality. And it's the first time Bournemouth it's the first time we've actually been down to the Vitality this season to cover a match live, so should be a real humdinger as the early shot comes in from our field, and a shot that just goes wide of the far post, and it's a goal kick. It's George Boyd, in fact, who had the early effort, and it was a header away there, and it came back to almost to blokes inside the area. It was Boyd who hit the shot initially. Also, we'll keep you up to date with what's happening elsewhere around the country today. Manchester City and Leicester were in action earlier today. We'll bring you what happened later on in that one as well. 2-1 it finished there, and a little bit of a controversial moment where Leicester scored a double movement penalty. The referee, incidentally, for this game is Lee Probert from Wiltshire. So we'll bring you the two lineups just as soon as I've got them in front of me. So let's so as soon as we get a break in play here at the Vitality, we'll give you the lineups at the moment, and obviously we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. So the ball back with Arthur Burch, the goalkeeper for Bournemouth, in an all dark goalkeeping jersey. One ball forward up towards the header back from Burnley, and it's come back once again. Arfield here on the far side having to touch the ball back, and it's again opportunity for Tarkowski to get it back to goalkeeper Tom Heaton. Right, let's give you the two lineups, shall we? We'll start with Bournemouth, the home team. That's Burridge in goal, Adam Smith. Let's just break off for a second because Burnley are on the attack here on the far side with Scott Arfield. Arfield has to check back. Ward making a good break down the left, and it's been knocked out of play for a throw. Burnley looking to win their second away match of the season. They've never won. They've actually won 2 away games in Premier League history, but they have a good record over Bournemouth. They haven't lost to the Cherries since 1998. So a 19-year unbeaten record stretches back between these two teams in favour of Burnley. Ward to take the throw, short again, and the ball knocked back in towards the penalty area where Barnes was lurking, but it's knocked away now. And again, Burnley starting with a good purpose now as Henrik takes possession, but he's lost out and he's sort of hurt himself. And here go Bournemouth now down the far side. Opportunity here for Stanislas. Burnley ban, and the ball back across. And Mousse was waiting in the middle, and again, good defending there by Long to get back across there and deny Bournemouth the opportunity of their first opportunity at goal. Ball played back across. Well, that was a good opportunity. We'll try and bring you the full 11s as soon as we get them. It's just absolute bedlam at the start of this Clarets Match live this afternoon. As the corner is taken short, and again now opportunity arises again, and this time Mousse hits the shot, and Stanislas hits the shot, and it's deflected over the top for a corner from the edge of the penalty area. I do apologise for the slowness of the stream we're commentating off, but it's a rip-roaring start, and we will give you the two teams as soon as we get them. Just to remind you, a draw would actually mathematically confirm Burnley's safety, but I think whatever happens, I think they're going to be safe anyway. Here come the Cherries in those dark black and red striped shirts on the far side, and it's Smith now for Bournemouth. Deep inside the Clarets territory, they're having a bit of possession. Burnley made a rip-roaring start to attack Bournemouth. Now it's Bournemouth's turn to attack, and it's Smith again on the far side, playing a 1-2 again. Number 18 Cook wants it on the edge of the area, and he loses it there, but it will come for number 11 Daniels. And here again comes Stanislas, the former Burnley man, and again it will come here for the shot by Francis into the roof, and almost on the roof of the stand behind Tom Heaton's goal to our left, and it's for a goal kick. So let's give you the two lineups, shall we? We'll go. It's It's Burridge in goal, of course. We'll try and give you the lineups in formation order if we can, but we know it's going to be Burridge in goal. So Burridge in goal, a back four of Daniels, Cook, Francis and Smith. Stanislas, Cook, Arter and Pugh are the midfield four, with Musa, the attacking midfielder, in behind Josh King, who's had a marvellous season. And Burnley are going 4-4-2. That's our lineup. This is our lineup with Tom Heaton, who's taking the goal kick, in goal. A back four of Ward, Tarkowski, Long and Lawton. Boyd, Henrik, Westwood and Scott Arfield are the midfield quartet. I don't understand why Robbie Brady isn't playing. Nothing against Scott Arfield, but I don't understand why he's actually in the squad. And they've got Vokes and Barnes up front, so read into that if you will. It's still 0-0. You haven't missed a thing at the moment. There's not been any goals scored, but it's I think we're going to have a marvellous match here. I really do. And of course, as with these live matches, of course, we'll try and bring a few live games to you as the season draws to a sad close. Obviously it's not great to see a football season come to a close, but it has to, I'm afraid, at some point. So we'll have to think of other ways to bring you live action, of course, during the summer. But we'll try and bring you some international football. There's England-Scotland coming up, and then there's the marquee friendly with France, of course, in June. So there's plenty still to come. We'll try and bring you, we're going to bring you 2 weeks' time the FA Cup final to you live as well. So plenty of good football, hopefully, to look forward to here on this YouTube channel. And I for one can't wait for the cup final. It's always a great it's always a real occasion, the FA Cup final. It really is. We haven't missed anything so far. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 0. 5 minutes now gone, but so far a little cagey, as you would expect here at the Vitality Stadium. But it's I have to say it's a marvellous occasion for this. For these Premier League games. Always brings it's always we always enjoy the the matches, of course, and bringing them to you live and everything else. We're still waiting to try and get something going here. So we haven't missed anything. There's been 6 minutes gone. It's still 0-0. Let's bring you up to date with some of the other scores at the moment. It's Burnley 0, Bournemouth 0. But so let's just check a look at the other scores as we're looking to try and get back on with the commentary. So let's have a look at what's been going on around the country. Obviously, there's been the match going on in the. Obviously there's a match been going on in earlier today at the City of Manchester, where Manchester City won 2-1 against Leicester City. Ray Morris scored a double jointed penalty which should have made it 2-2, as all the other matches, as you can probably gather, are 0-0, including this one between Bournemouth and Burnley, which is suddenly 5 minutes old at the moment, and we're just waiting to get back. Well, we're actually into the 7th minute of the game, but all the other games at the moment. There's been a goal at Welsh. We'll just break off for a second because Swansea have just scored, and a big goal in the relegation battle at the bottom. And this is not the good news for neither Crystal Palace or Hull City, who play each other, of course, tomorrow afternoon, because Palando Valente has just put Swansea in the lead. So Swansea won up. A big moment that could be in the relegation dogfight between Crystal Palace and Swansea, as Barnes takes it up, tries to play a 1-2, through the middle with Volks, but it comes down and it's back with Arthur Burridge. So 0-0 here at the Vitality Stadium, and a bright sunny afternoon down on the south coast. Both teams there'll be a game of cat and mouse. Burnley, of course, a very tight defence, and we don't give Bolt away, although they are missing Ben Mee and Michael Keane through injury. I know Michael Keane may be being protected because there are rumours that he may be going to Manchester United or Liverpool in the summer, or back to Manchester United or on to Liverpool in the summer for fees reported in the region of about 25 million. So we'll watch that space with great interest. But I thought Tarkowski and Long last week against West Bromwich Albion were pretty solid in the main. There were 2 sloppy goals conceded, of course, but nothing untoward. Here's a chance now for for Daniels to come forward. Daniels played it in there, and that has been kept in by George Boyd on the near side. He's playing on the right hand side of midfield, and Scott Arfield on the left, although I do honestly think that Robbie Brady would have been a better shoe-in. I think Burnley were a better side with Robbie Brady in than Scott Arfield. That's my personal opinion. If people want to say I've got a vendetta against Scott Arfield, I will let them say that, but I can assure you it's nothing against Scott Arfield personally. I just think Robbie Brady is an all-round better footballer, and I think not starting him ahead of Arfield is a bit of a boo-boo from Sean Dyche. But we've had a goal though in the 3 o'clocks, and it's Swansea City who've got it. Sunderland, a big goal in that one, and you have to say Sunderland, of course, already relegated, but played their part in Hull's demise at home last week, and that's a big blow for Hull. So really this is so that really does put a spoke in the works. You're welcome to comment, but please keep the comments clean, and please we want you to interact with us, of course, but please, as I say, keep your comments nice and clean, and we'll read them out. But I'll only read clean comments. I will not read swear word comments or anything like that. It's Loughton plays that in, tries to bet Barnes into the game, and he was taken out, but the referee was quite happy. Mr. Peralbert from Wiltshire. As Bournemouth now try to play out from the back here with Smith, and Smith on the far side, but that'll fall for Stephen Ward, who can get it back to Tom Heaton, who's kept a record 10 clean sheets. I don't think any other Burnley goalkeeper has done that in the Premier League era, although I think Alan Stevenson kept double-figure clean sheets back in the 70s when Burnley stayed in the top flight for more than one season. They had a 3-season spell in between 1973 and 1976. They got to an FA Cup semi-final in that period. The team of the 70s, of course, under the great manager at the time, Jimmy Adamson, was also the captain when Burnley last won the top flight title in 1960. Heady days for the Clarets. It was good to see the lady come back to Turf Moor last season. That was for the first time since then as Championship champions. I know that's now Burnley bolted in Newcastle's trophy win for the next 12 months, having pipped Brighton to the title on the final day of the season. So elsewhere, Middlesbrough nil, they're already relegated. They were relegated at Chelsea on Monday night, and Middlesbrough, they're drawing 0-0 with Southampton. We have a comment, but I cannot. I'm not sure if I can pronounce what is said there. But we have a comment, and you're welcome to comment. But please talk about the football. I don't want to be giving shout-outs to anybody. I just want you to talk about the football, talk about what's going on in Premier League and all that. But please keep your comments clean. Bournemouth nil, Burnley nil, coming up towards 15 minutes gone in the first half. There's only been one goal in the 3 o'clockers so far. That's gone to Fernando Llorente of Swansea. He's from Spain. Well, welcome along. I don't know any Spanish. I'm afraid I'm totally 100% English. But you're very welcome on board. People from Spain getting involved. Possession starts 62% now. Bournemouth. Burnley have 38%. Long ball forward up towards Josh King. King turns. Good control by the Bournemouth attacker, but it's been given away here to Ashley Barnes, or to Sam Vokes rather. Hard to pick out who's who in the sunshine here at the Vitality Stadium. You're very much near enough on pitch level as Vokes was actually taken out there, and a free kick. And already the free kick has been taken. The ball hooked back in, and it's hooked away. In fact, the referee spotted us from pushing from Ashley Barnes. I do think the referees pick on him a little bit. He is a physical player. There's no two doubt about that. And in fact, we've got Sean Massey on the near side there. Remember her, Sean Massey? She was at the forefront of the sexism scandal a few years ago involving a certain Richard Keys and Andy Gray, which I thought was utterly disgraceful at the time. And I thought the way she was treated in all that by those two individuals, was absolutely disgraceful. But she's become a very, very good assistant, and she's always been professional at all times. So it's good to see Sean Massey in the top flight, and it's good to see more women in the game as well. As we come up to a quarter of an hour gone in this first half here at the Vitality Stadium. Clarets Match Live, the last Clarets Match Live of the season. Of course, we'll be going delayed on the last day, because we'll be doing commentary of West Ham as well next Sunday, but the actual commentary will be played out on a Monday afternoon for you. And then of course there'll be a live match. There'll be obviously the cup final to come in 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks today, live from Wembley, and I'm looking forward to that. It'll be the first time the channel has ever done a commentary of the FA Cup final, and it's a big one this year. Chelsea v Arsenal, a London derby, and I'm sure we'll be all looking forward to that one. Chelsea going for the double, of course. They won the league title last night in the Midlands against West Bromwich Albion. A terrific achievement for Antonio Conte's men as Burnley come forward again. Opportunity knocks here for the Clarets, as they lost the ball there, unfortunately, as they tried to break forward. So 0-0 is the score, but a really tenseness now going around the game at the moment. As Bournemouth attack, but Ward across did really well to get that one away. Still 0-0. Here's Ashley Barnes, number 30, up towards Vokes now. Tries to play Barnes back in again, but he was the only one forward, and against two Bournemouth defenders it was going to be tough for him, even if he did get possession of the ball, to try and take on the two defenders and hit the ball into the back of the net. It's still 0-0, but obviously there's still a long way to go. Both teams, Bournemouth are definitely safe for next season. Burnley virtually safe. I can't see them being caught. I mean, I think if Hull lose tomorrow, I think that's it as far as the relegation issues are concerned, because then it'll be all about jockeying for them Champions League spots at the top. I think if things get sorted out with the relegation scrap tomorrow, which could end up being so, because that's a massive game at Selhurst Park tomorrow, because that is a big game between Crystal Palace and Hull City at the Selhurst Park, and if Palace win that and then Hull down, if Swansea can hold on to what they've got up at Sunderland. It's Bournemouth on the attack. You're missing absolutely nothing. We've had 18 minutes gone, and it's 0-0 between Bournemouth and Burnley. And it's that's our pass that's been overhit there by Charlie Daniels, and it's gone out for, I think, for a goal kick. Jeff Mostyn is the Bournemouth chairman. He's done a fantastic job down there, down at the Vitality as the chairman, and he's backed Eddie Howe in what he's done. Eddie Howe, of course, a big sub-block for him, being an ex-Burnley manager. Had 2 years at Turf Moor. It didn't really work out for him in Lancashire. Was widely criticised by the Clarets fans for being too gun-ho. He was replaced by Sean Dyche. He's done a magnificent job. He's probably been the best Burnley manager probably since the likes of Harry Potts and Jimmy Adamson all those years ago. I would say he's the second best ever Burnley manager that's ever managed a club, behind Harry Potts. That's how much Sean Dyche is rated in Burnley, and he has been a magnificent manager for Burnley, although I have come out and criticised him in commentaries so far this season for tactics and the timing of substitutions and the like. I did criticise him quite a bit in the game against Lincoln when Burnley were bowed out the cup in one of the most disgraceful moments, I think, in the club's history. And it was a complete disaster, which has sort of left a black mark on the season, which, well, the 2 cup defeats really to Accrington and Lincoln have really left black marks on what's actually been quite a good season for Burnley. You know, staying in the Premier League is no mean achievement as we come up towards the halfway mark of the first half. The game's just settled down a little bit after sort of a rip-roaring start, and at the moment it's Bournemouth on the attack, and we're still obviously waiting for the first goal of the contest. Elsewhere, it's still 1-0 to Sunderland. There's a chance here for Bournemouth inside the penalty area. The ball pulled back across, and I think it might have been Josh King by the penalty spot who tried to let go with his right foot, but Burnley got bodies in the way and charged the effort down. What an opportunity that was for Bournemouth. I think the flag might have been up in all of that. It's Harry's on. He's a big Bournemouth fanatic as well. There was a foul there by Junior Stanislas. That is why the 3 kick was given, not offside. Foul there on Stephen Ward. It was a clear push. There's no doubt about it. 21.5 minutes gone then at the Vitality. Bournemouth 0, Burnley 0. And Daniels gets that out by his own byline. Did really well to prevent that going for a corner. And well, it's Harry. Good to have you on board. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can do. Just click subscribe and you will have all the content you need football wise. And of course, there's a playlist of Let's Talk Football where me and Matt Claret get together most weeks and make football predictions and talk about the latest happenings as Burnley come forward again. But there's again a bit of pushing and shoving. This time Sam Vokes might have been offside in actual fact. Sean Massey there on the near side with the flag. And she just about got that spot on. That was a good decision. A really good decision that from Sean Massey, the assistant there. She's done actually quite well. But as I say, there's only been 1 goal so far scored in the 3 o'clockers. There's only 3 that have happened, 3 games going on in the 3 o'clockers this afternoon, and they of course taking place at Sunderland as well. So it's still 0-0 here. And at the moment we're just waiting for the first goal here. But elsewhere, let's just check you elsewhere. As I say, there's been big moments in the game. We've had 23 minutes gone, and there's not really had too much there's not been too much in the way of goal opportunity. I think a 0-0 draw would suit Burnley. Bournemouth have had 62% possession. You're missing absolutely nothing, by the way. It's just been a typical end of season fare so far. There's still a long way to go in this game. We've had plenty of dull first halves in the past, and then it's all come rather to life in the second half game. So we'll try not to lose a bit of heart on that one, because it's try not to lose heart on that one. So we're still waiting for the first goal here at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Burnley. Typical interseason. It's Harry's come back. He says, do you do this every week? Well, I can't do it every week because I do have a full-time job, but when I'm available and I've got time and I've got the opportunity to do it, then I will do it. I do delayed commentaries as well, so I've done over 30 this season, so I do my best to try and keep things going here as we still await the first goal. It's been a typical, as I say, end of season fare. Both teams now nothing to worry about really in terms of the way the game has gone. As I said, Burnley have had less possession. There's been 2 shots to Bournemouth, 1 to Burnley, no shots on target, and we're still obviously waiting to get back with the live stream here. As soon as we've got some action, we'll be able to give you proper commentary on it. It's always a frustration when you're trying to bring a match live, and in fact there's been a goal scored. There's been a goal. Bournemouth have scored. Junior Stanislas has got it. We'll try and bring it to you. We've missed a goal, and that's not my fault. It's the first time we've missed a goal in the game this season. It's Junior Stanislas. How cruel can that be? Well, it's 1-0 to Bournemouth. 26 minutes gone. We'll try and bring you what actually happened. I don't think this commentary is going to go down too well, because it's the first time we've actually missed a goal live, and it's a real shame really. But we have a goal here at the Vitality Stadium, and we haven't brought it to you, which I'm deeply ashamed about. It's the first time it's ever happened in any of our live matches, which I'm pretty gutted about, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So 1-0 to Bournemouth. I'll try and give you a description and actually how that goal happened. That's a real blow for Burnley, who could do with a point at least to stay in the division. As Josh King has it now on the far side for Bournemouth. King now plays it forward. And now Mark Pugh, number 7, left hand side. Bournemouth 1-ups. Junior Stanislas is in there. His goal has given Bournemouth the advantage, and it's disappointing really for the Clarets, but we'll give you a description of how that goal came about. Burnley have got to 40 points. A draw would take them on to 41 in relative safety. Elsewhere it's still 1-0 the other way, but it's 1-0 Junior Stanislas with the goal. Ball back with Barrett. Burnley, apart from the first 2 minutes at the start, really haven't offered too much. Batman Botty's back. He says, I'm here, and as I say, I'm very sorry that, but when technology breaks down, you can't bring any goals to straight away. It's a frustration. But we are back with you live. We'll try and bring most of this game to you live now. As Bournemouth now come forward looking for a second goal here on the break. As Smith takes the ball up. Smith has to track back on the left hand side, and then it's hooked away by Scott Arfield, who I can't understand for the life of me why he's in the team. When you've got people like Robbie Brady, who are far better footballers, that are on the bench, sitting there, practically on the bench, and you've got Scott Arfield. It's just a disgrace, really. And Burnley's away day blues well and truly continuing here. And it's Junior Stanislas who This is what happened. He gets away from Stephen Ward here and then hits a right-footed, left-footed side footer into the net, and that's how that first goal happened. And well, I have to say, on the balance of play so far, I think it's been richly deserved. The ball actually was played forward by Cook, and then he took the ball on his chest, got away from a defender, and he slotted the ball into the bottom corner. Although there was a lot of bad positioning there from Tom Heaton's goal. So we've seen a replay of what happened, and shame we couldn't bring it to you live. But I hope that's got you. I hope that's sort of made up for it. The description of the replay on the goal. Free kick given against Tarkowski, and now the decision's really going against the Clarets. But I do honestly think that there are certain things going on here. I just honestly think this is a risk playing Tarkowski and Long. I don't think, with all due respect to them, they've got the necessary experience. This is a Bournemouth team that like to attack. I do honestly think the club are hiding something on the Michael Keane front. I don't know if he's got an injury or not. I'm speculating he hasn't. But they need to get into this game, and Arfield should be doing a lot better. I've not been impressed again with him at all, and he needs to step up to the plate. Here's Arfield. Now then, can Burnley create something? Arfield down this left-hand side. Can they get the cross in towards Barnes? No, Bournemouth had sufficient numbers back. Burnley starting to come forward a bit more. George Boyd involved, and really that was not a good first touch from George Boyd. It was very lucky to get the team a throw. So as it stands, Bournemouth will move into 9th position with 45 points, above Southampton and Leicester and West Ham United and Stoke City, who have 41 points. There's Ariata is injured. Ariata, who got away with a couple of bad challenges the other week. Here at the Vitality is injured, and we could have a slight delay. 31 minutes gone. Bournemouth 1-0 ahead. Junior Stanislas, the goal scorer. 25 minutes had elapsed at that point. So 1-0 is the score. We missed the goal live, obviously, because we'd lost the signal. So unfortunately, that's technology for you. But there we are. We are live now. Can never trust technology to do what you want. The ball, one ball forward, knocked in there towards the penalty area, and then hooked back across again. Chance here for Arfield on the edge of the area. Poor shot, really. It was easily charged down. Scott Arfield really needs to get his game together, because quite frankly, he has been appalling in this first half. And if people go on, and if any Clarets are on saying, I've got a vendetta against Scott Arfield, I have not got a vendetta against Scott Arfield. I just don't think he's playing to the levels that he's expected to play. Considering you've got better players like Robbie Brady here, as Arfield goes for goal, and that's better. That was better from Scott Arfield. Good left-footed shot, but wide of the target, but that was better from Arfield. This is what we want to see from him more. More of the battling skills here, and then that shot there just needed to be a wee bit more accurate. The only criticism of that was a wee bit more accuracy, but the idea was good from Arfield, and it's the first good positive moment I've seen from him. Because I do think he's one of those players that really frustrates you, because he can, on his day, he can be really good, but more often than not he does put in substandard performances, like we saw in the Cup against Lincoln, where his corner kick routines were just unbelievably poor. But that was the best chance Burnley have fashioned in the entire match. 25 yards out with his left foot. But it's still 1-0 to Bournemouth. The goal on 25 minutes from Junior Stanislas. And it was a good finish. Ex-Burnley man, of course, and I don't think he would have. I thought celebrating against the Clarets, I thought it was a little bit disrespectful, I have to say, considering he had 2 or 3 good years at the turf. Here's Mark Pugh down the left-hand side, cutting in field now towards the edge of the area. Ball hooked back again. Will they go for a second one here, Bournemouth? They're inside the area. Pugh with a shot. Hits it right-footed. And into the arms of Tom Heaton, who plucks the ball out of the air, takes it superbly, and Burnley survive. But lovely build-up play by the Cherries, playing some really good through balls here, and Pugh got it out of his foot, hit it right-footed, turned, swivels, shot, and it was straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Still 1-0 to Bournemouth, and they've deserved the lead. Good value for it, and this is coming from a Clarets supporter who knows that Burnley's away record has been nothing short of dreadful, in the terms that they've lost a lot more than they've won. One win all season, and that came a fortnight ago against Crystal Palace. That's a free kick to the Clarets, foul on the far side there. The referee's not allowing it to be taken quickly. I think he wants to have a chat with the Bournemouth player Cook. Tarkowski was the man who was fouled over on the far side. This is what happened on the far side. You can't really tell with the sun. It's a low, obviously it's a very, very small stadium, the Vitality, or Dincourt to give it its original name. Tarkowski and Cook having a word or two. Tom Heaton getting involved there. He's the Burnley captain, of course. In fact, Lewis Cook has been given a ticking off here, and this is what happened. Well, I think that's a bit naughty from Lewis Cook. And you can understand Tarkowski's frustration there. Tarkowski isn't really an aggressive player. He doesn't retaliate in that fashion. He's not that sort of player. He's not that sort of character, Tarkowski. As Bournemouth looked to try, or Burnley rather, took to try and create something through Sam Vokes, but he's now been penalised. This was the long ball up there. I think Vokes, was he penalised or was it the shot? Well, either way, it was over the top anyway. Ball coming to Vokes on the edge of the penalty area, and in fact it was a chance. It was over the top. I couldn't tell because we've obviously got the sun there, which sort of blocks the vision a little bit. And obviously Burnley, I don't know why the kick man come up with the old idea of yellow shirts. I would have gone with the blue ones they wore against Crystal Palace. I don't know why they have to wear these silly yellow shirts in a day like today. So a black mark really against the Burnley kitman's name, really, for the choice of away strip. And here is Lowton, who we've not seen much of. And then the ball back to Long, who's very inexperienced. He is coming back from a couple of long-term injuries, in fairness to him, as Westwood takes it up. I just wonder why Westwood is playing in place of Defoe. Defoe is on the bench. He's still one of our best players. You've got three of our better players on the bench, and yet you persist with people like Arfield, which is absolutely disgraceful. Here's the ball in there towards Arfield. Vokes and Barnes wait in the middle, which might give Batman Boss his answer. Gray is on the bench as Ward now takes it up for Burnley. Good crossing towards the area, but again, too many Bournemouth defenders there. We're just pumping long balls in there. We need pace up front, and this is where Andre Gray could be absolutely superb for us. It's good. It's easy for Bournemouth just to get the ball away, and it's a frustration. We have been second best, there's no doubt about it. Here we go again with Charlie Daniels, cuts in from the left hand side. Daniels towards the penalty area. Daniels with a shot, and it just clears the crossbar. And I think Daniels wanted a corner. I think a goal kick has been given, and indeed it was. I think Tom Heaton knew it was safely going over the crossbar, but Charlie Daniels did superbly well. Held off the challenge of Arfield, superb. I didn't think Arfield put a good enough challenge in here. In fact, it was Westwood. In fact, I was doing Scott Arfield for once a disservice, but over the top though. But a good run from Daniels, you have to say. Burnley have only fashioned one opportunity. What about Defoe? He's on the bench as well, as I've just mentioned right now, Batman. And if you want to comment on the game, you're very welcome. I do apologise for missing the goal live, but unfortunately, when we get technical problems, technical hitches like we've just had this afternoon, unfortunately those things you can't do exactly when you're live. And there's been an offside given meanwhile we was talking. Let's just see what's been going on elsewhere. In fact, we'll check we'll check what's going on elsewhere as we go to half time, because we're now into the last, well, deep inside the last 10 minutes of the first half for sure. Bournemouth have had 2 on target to Burnley 0, which actually works out fine. There's been 5 shots to Bournemouth, 3 to Burnley. 2 corners to Bournemouth. Burnley have yet to yield a corner, which has been unbelievably disgraceful. But Burnley have sort of come back into it in the possession department. But he'll be disappointed, I think, with the first half. I mean, let's give Bournemouth their fair dues. I mean, the Burnley fans have travelling a 600-mile round trip to see this, and they've, to be quite honest, they've not got out for their long journey and the money they've paid out. And I think they have to perform a awful lot better. If they're still in it at 1-0 at half-time, then they still have a chance. They can't afford a second goal, otherwise it's possibly game over for today, and that would be absolutely it would be absolutely disgusting. And you know, for those Burnley fans who have travelled all the way down from Lancashire to the south coast, it's unbelievably. They need their team to they need Burnley to step up to the plate, I think, and they haven't done enough, in my opinion, to warrant that. 5 to go to half time. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 0, and I think the scoreline reflects the way the game's gone. Sean Dyche with a rueful smile on his face. What's happened to Batman again's been on? What's happened to me and Keane? What kind of injury have they got? Ben Mee, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's not too much coming out of the club, to be honest with you, Batman. Obviously, I've not been with it because I've been working as well, so it's been hard for me to keep up with development at Turf Moor with regards to the injuries. But they are both out with injuries, and they're not fit enough. And there's a challenge there by Tarkowski, which is. Well, it's Josh King that's been fouled. Now, I don't think he's going to be the last man. I think this would be a disgrace, but the foul has not been given. Well, that's why the Bournemouth fans are sort of unhappy about it. I couldn't really tell properly from my vantage point because, again, there's the sunlight and it's a low stadium mist. It's not the biggest of stadiums. And it's very difficult to tell. With Burnley playing in yellow, it's... It's even more difficult. Tarkowski surely was pushed there, and that has to be a free kick. But was there an opportunity for Josh King? Was he fouled? That is the question. I couldn't tell from the naked eye because of the sunshine. We're going to have a look at a replay. Here's King in possession. Tarkowski's there. He gets the ball. I don't think that's too malicious in any way. He's gone there to get the ball, and I think he's got the ball. And I think Josh King has tried to con the referee there, in my opinion. And I think the referee was wise to that, and I think that was the right decision was made in the end, as Burnley tried to make something from a long free kick from Tom Heaton on the edge of the area, but they can't do so. And then a header back towards Tom Heaton. 3 to go to half time, or in fact 2.5 minutes to go to half time now on the clock. 1-0, a goal in the 25th minute from Junior Stanislas is the difference between two teams now. Bournemouth are mathematically safe, Burnley virtually safe, of course, but Swansea are winning elsewhere. And as well, Harry Arter, to be fair, has come back on. His hamstring must be okay at the moment, but I'm sure Eddie Howe will double check that as we come towards the half-time interval. Chance here for Burnley, and is he going in? No, it's not. Can you believe that? Scott Arfield, of all people, should be doing a lot better. He got through. He should have made it 1-1. That was a poor finish. He hit it straight into the arms of Harry Arter. Takes the first touch there. Not a good first touch for me, that first touch. And really, Scott Arfield, I think, has performed, apart from that 125-yard left footer, has been pathetic throughout the entire game. That was poor, and that just sums up how poor he has been in this first half. Really has. Scott Arfield needs to come off at half-time, and I think we need the industry of Brady, and I think we need to take off Ashley Barnes and put on Andre Gray. That is what I would say if it was me. But maybe a chance here for Burnley. Have they forced the corner? No, they haven't. It's a goal kick to Bournemouth. But Scott Arfield, that was a disgraceful finish. You get into that position, you are expected to finish it. And I'm afraid Scott Arfield is not going up to standard. And I'm got to be honest, Arfield needs to go in the summer. I'm absolutely convinced that Scott Arfield must go in the summer, because this was a disgraceful finish. You get into that final third, the run was good, everything else was good, the finish was just lacklustre, straight at Burridge, who, to be fair, came out and narrowed the angle pretty well and made it that little bit difficult for Arfield, but still, you'd expect an equaliser there. And I'm afraid that is not good enough. Meanwhile, there's unfortunately, Bournemouth lost one of their own. He was 44 years old. I don't know his name, but they are all applauding him, all four sides of the Vitality, and that's good to see. And even Eddie Howe there, I saw giving him a good round of applause. Even the Bournemouth chairman, Jeff Bostin, giving him a great standing ovation and a lovely send-off for surely he was a great Bournemouth fan. Not sure about his name. I don't know his name, but I'm sure the Bournemouth fans will put me straight on that one. But it was a terrific tribute and well observed by everybody. 1 minute at added time. Now, ball given away for Arfield, who has to perform a lot better. Because if it was me, he should be substituted. The attempted ball cut out, and that's surely a foul. That is a disgraceful foul. That is an unbelievable, disgraceful foul there on Ashley Barnes, and surely the yellow card's got to come out here at some point. Ball given away here, and there's no doubt, in my opinion, that it might have been the number 3 there. It was really was disgraceful from Cook. Last minute. We've played the 1 minute and we've just timed for this free kick. The referee's sure got to allow time for this. Cook has not been booked. I think he should have been booked, in my opinion. But there we are. Can Burnley get themselves an equaliser? A point will still do it for them today. Doesn't need to be a win today. It needs to, a draw will do. Can Burnley get themselves up with a free kick? It was a poor free kick, really. I think it might have been Henrik with the free kick. Then the ball pumped in from the left-hand side. The free kick, in fact, hit the wall. So here's a chance now for Bournemouth, and showing now Lee Probert ball for time. But Bournemouth deservedly in front. Burnley have really been appallingly bad, and they really owe the fans who have travelled nearly 600 miles round trip to be here at the Vitality Stadium today. They owe them a better performance in the second half, because let's be fair, the performance they dished up here at the Vitality Stadium is just simply not good enough. Bournemouth deservedly in front for a 25th minute goal from Junior Stanislas. They offered a lot more, certainly in the play, I felt, on them, certainly in the game. And really, Burnley had 2 good opportunities. One from Scott Arfield, which he shot wide from 25 yards, and then he had the best chance for Burnley towards the end of that first half, which he should have scored. It was a poor finish, and really Scott Arfield, apart from that one moment where he just hit the left-footed shot wide, has been nothing short. He's been Burnley's worst player by an unbelievable mile. He's given too many balls away. He's been wasteful. Obviously, his set plays have been poor. He needs dragging off at half-time, and Robbie Brady is more of a better player than what he's 3 times the player Scott Arfield will ever be, as far as I'm concerned. But in all fairness to Bournemouth, they've given a good account of themselves in that first 45. Deservedly take the lead through Junior Stanislas' goal, and at half-time here at the Vitality Stadium, it's Bournemouth 1, Burnley 0, deservedly so. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and let's just remind you how the goal happened, because we were off the air at the time. The goal happened. Let me just tell you how that goal happened. Stanislas chested it down inside the penalty area and then slotted it light-footed past the stranded goalkeeper Tom Heaton. So we're going to take a 5-minute break then at the Vitality Stadium. We'll be for a cup of tea and a bit of refreshment. We should be able to join you in a couple of minutes time with full second half commentary. Before the second half begins, we'll give you a full rundown of what's happening elsewhere around the country. But at the moment, it's Burnley 0, it's Bournemouth 1, sorry, Burnley 0, and Burnley need to play a lot better in the second 45 minutes. We'll take a 5-minute break. Join us shortly. Hello there, welcome back to the Vitality Stadiums, and Bournemouth at half-time as things stand, winning through a 25th minute goal from Junior Stanislas. So let's keep you up to speed of what's been going on elsewhere. Earlier today, Manchester City beat the former champions, now we can say, Leicester City by 2-1. David Silva put City in front after 29 minutes. Then he just put City 2 up with a penalty after 36. Shinji Arizaki put one back after 42 minutes, and then Leicester had a penalty ruled out when Riyad Mahrez slipped and hit and made a double strike of the ball, hit the ball into his leg, and then it rebounded off his leg and into the corner of the net, and that went in, but the penalty wasn't allowed. This was the goal from Stanislas, takes it on his chest, and Tarkowski and Long were all over the place there at the back. It was just pathetic defending. Elsewhere, Middlesbrough trailing to Southampton there by a goal to nil. This was the goal. Right-footed shot from Jay Rodriguez, by a former Burnley man, of course, putting Southampton in charge there against an already relegated Borough team who were lack of ideas. So Jay Rodriguez with the goal there, but there's been two big goals at this, not too far from Sunderland, about 30 miles north. The relegation battle has taken a huge twist now because Kyle Norton has doubled Swansea's lead right on the stroke of half-time to add to the early goal from Llorente, and it's looking really, and I think Crystal Palace and Hull City, who face off each other tomorrow at Selhurst Park, will be looking anxiously on here in horror, because Swansea are pulling themselves 4 points clear of Hull, and if Hull lose tomorrow at Crystal Palace, that's it for Hull. It's all over then. For Hull, who will go down alongside Sunderland and Middlesbrough to the Championship next season. And it would be a desperate blow for Marco Silva, of course, but there you are. Let's have a look at some social media comments. Operation Weird says, come on Burnley. Well, they need to play a lot better, I have to say, in the second 45 minutes, because the first 45 minutes was simply not good enough. I know Bournemouth are the home team and they'll be expected to dominate proceedings for most of it, but Burnley really need to step up to the plate, and I think the selection again was all wrong from Sean Dyche once again, and I think Burnley have been dreadful in the main in this first 45 minutes. They really need to pull their finger out, I think. Let's see what people have been saying at the moment on social media. I'll try and give you a few of the nicer comments. So let's see what's been doing the rounds. There's a couple that said, Nathan Wall, one of the guys on there, said, sounds like Folks is having a nightmare, get Gray on. Did Stanislas celebrate? He certainly did. Swansea 2-0 up. In fact, Swansea, let me just go back to the Swansea City thing. Swansea have paid 75 grand between the team to pay for tickets for the 3,000 fans plus meal vouchers. I think that's been well worth the effort, and the £3,000 have truly got what they deserve at the moment, and Swansea are getting what they deserve at the moment, and that could be a crucial game changer at the bottom. Going back to the social media comments, Matt Sims says, zero creativity. Why play two men of the ball up top when we can have no one when we've got no one to whip a ball in? The talent's on the bench. I think he's right. I think all the talent is on the bench. When you play people like Arfield, who has not, apart from one opportunity where he struck it from 25 yards out and a poor finish from close range where Boric easily saved, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, I'm afraid, from Scott Arfield. Sean Hill agrees, not good enough. Why does he keep playing Bard and Oldfield when we got Brady and Goodmanson who can get the ball into Gray? That's a good point. John Alstead says, I'd like to see Brady, Defoe and Gray on. I think Goodmanson should have started. I think Goodmanson, that could have been a good shout there. I think John Whitehead's a bit out of order with this one. Dyche out. He's just kept Burnley virtually in the division. We all think the same selections, think Sean Hill, but the other manager has other ideas. Brian Snowden reckons Arfield's diving for him to go. He certainly is. We haven't got any pace on the pitch. We need Brady on as soon as possible. And that's just some of the comments I've seen on Facebook and social media at the moment. Because let's be fair, Burnley have been a shambles in this first 45 minutes. Scott Arfield has probably been one of the worst performers. I know he's had the 2 outstanding chances for Burnley, but that's not. But that's my opinion. I've got an opinion, and I will give that opinion. And if people don't like me having a go at Scott Arfield, then that's fair enough. But both teams, in fact, are back out now for the second half, so we can get this second half up and running now at the Vitality Stadium. We'll see if we can pick out any substitutions. It looks as if we are having a substitution, and Andre Gray is on for the second half. It looks as if Gray is on. So we'll try and pick that one out for you. We'll see who's come off there, and so off we go again in this second half. No changes, I don't think, for Bournemouth at this precise moment, but it's been a disappointing first half really for Burnley, where they just weren't at the races. And I think with Andre Gray now on for the second half, it might just sort of work in their favour. And it's Gray tries to get in there, folks almost got there too. But really, it's been more about Bournemouth in this first half, and here they are on the attack once again. But this time, Burnley have sufficient numbers to get the ball away. Burnley now attacking the goal to our left. Actually, Barnes has gone off, but I think Scott Arfield should have gone off as well. I think Dyche has probably made one. I think he should have made not one but 2 substitutions. Let me know what you thought about Scott Arfield's first half performance. Was he the best man, or was he pathetic? I think he was the latter. Despite having the 2 outstanding chances, he's done nothing else of any real note in the match so far. I think his finishing's been woeful. I think his midfield play, he offers no width. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 0 is the score. We're underway in the second half. No changes for Bournemouth, incidentally. It's the same 11 that started the first half, and we'll give you a recap on the teams very quickly. For Bournemouth, it's Burrich, Smith, Francis Cook, Daniel Stanislas the scorer, Ariata, who seems to have recovered from that hamstring he's sustained in the first half, Lewis Cook, Mark Pugh, as Daniels can't get that in, and it will be a goal kick to Burnley. Mark Pugh, Josh King, who's the top scorer, and Mousset. On the substitutes, I didn't give you the subs in the first half, so I apologise. For Bournemouth, we've got Dan Gosling, Max Gradle, Smith, Allsop, Ryan Fraser, Tyrone Mings, and Jordan Ibe. So Burnley now line up as follows, with Tom Heaton in goal, Lowton, Gong, Tarkowski and Ward at the back 4, Boyd, Westwood, Henrik and Arfield, who should have been substituted, as well as Ashley Barnes, who's now been replaced by Andre Gray, and Sam Vokes. And the subs left now for Burnley. Gray obviously coming on. We've got Flanagan, Brady, Defoe, Johan Berg, Gudmundsson, Tendar Dawika, and substitute goalkeeper Nick Pope. And of course the referee Lee Probert from Wiltshire, who's refereed badly today, but so far nothing's really happened. Just a couple of balls that have gone Denny to touch. Apart from that, nothing to write home about in this second half here at the Vitality, where Bournemouth deservedly lead by a goal to 0. And I have to say, Burnley haven't really offered too much in this first 45 minutes to really write home about. I'm really disappointed for the supporters that have travelled down to the Vitality so far, because what's been offered to them has been a lot of poor football. I know Andre Gray trying to change that as he tries to run down a blind alley down the left hand side, but Bournemouth again had sufficient numbers back and did the necessaries. Burnley would still stay, but even if they did lose today, Hull could lose to Crystal Palace and Burnley would stay up in any case, so even losing today wouldn't be the worst thing. But another away point would be sufficient, and I'm sure we wouldn't want it to be relying on Crystal Palace getting a result. As things stand, we still will be in 14th place, which is still not a bad return really for what we've done this season, but you think of how many results we could have had, where we were robbed a couple of times against Arsenal at home and at the Emirates Stadium, where we should have had 2 extra points in that one, and then we wouldn't be, you know, it's just little margins like that, and the Bournemouth fans now enjoying every moment of it now. They're 1 goal clear. They're playing some really attractive football. They certainly played that very attractive style that Eddie Howe likes to put on, and defensively they've actually been quite sound, which is sort of really surprised me, you know, in the sense that it's been really good to watch. Here's Ariata now, 10 yards inside Burnley's half. 5 minutes of the second half gone. Burnley a goal down here at the Vitality. Now a chance here for for Stanislas rather. Now Adam Smith. Smith will run at the defender. Now Stanislas gets the ball back again. Tries to play a 1-2. Burnley and this time wise to the situation, but they need to get numbers forward, and a long ball forward. It's never going to find Gray. This is ridiculous from Burnley. They need to start playing out. You can't really afford to bring too many people back. This is negative football. Burnley need to be more positive. They need to have no width. They don't have any width at all. They've got pace now with Gray, but when you play bad balls like that and the one Scott Arfield played, then I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. They need to play better, Burnley, and they're not doing so. This is the problem. I just honestly think Burnley need to get stuck in more, they need to get more width in, and they need to give more service to the 2 strikers, because quite frankly the midfield have certainly not helped themselves here today. When you look at the midfield talent they have on that bench, and you're putting players like Scott Arfield in that side, and I know it's tempting to blame Scott Arfield. It might seem as if he's the easier target, but he's been the worst performer of the midfield 4. George Boyd, you know what you're going to get. Westwood, I don't understand why he's playing. That's a foul on Arta. Free kick to Bournemouth, just on the halfway. Free kick taken quickly, and it's gone towards the right hand side here. And it's infield again to Stanislas, the scorer. He's been there and everywhere in this first half, scoring the goal after 25 minutes. We're into the second half now, and it's a lovely football again from Bournemouth, trying to pick a way through the Burnley defence, but Burnley held strong there. Bournemouth still have it, and they cut in from the far side, the ball back across. Could this be a second goal? No, they just couldn't finish it off, and Burnley get it away. Ball hooked back by peering towards the 6-yard box, and it just couldn't be finished off. And now an opportunity now for Burnley. They need to get Gray in. At the moment it's easy for Bournemouth to mop up the long balls from Burnley, because they're just playing too negative here, Burnley. This is why we need width, and when we've got it on the bench it's no good to us. Scott Arfield needs to get off the field as far as I'm concerned. His performance today has been nothing short of pathetic. He really has. Elsewhere at the moment, it's Bournemouth, obviously. Elsewhere, there's 2 other games taking place. Southampton were still winning by that Jay Rodriguez goal. Look at the way Scott Arfield again. This was the opportunity a second ago when Pugh just went past Arfield. That's a poor bit of defending from Arfield, and this is why Scott Arfield should not be in the team. I'm not having that. I think Dyche gives too much loyalty to players like Scott Arfield, and he needs to be much tougher on. But he's making Scott Arfield is being made to be a journeyman as far as I'm concerned. He's been absolutely poor. He's been poor this season. He needs to go in the summer as far as I'm concerned. Bournemouth on the attack here now with Adam Smith, right hand side. Smith cuts in field into Stanislas. Stanislas played it in towards Josh King, who gets the shot in, and he's deflected behind for a corner off James Tarkowski to Bournemouth. Bournemouth have played the better football, there's no 2 ways about it. Corner's been taken very quickly. Didn't give the TV cameras to get their replay in. And the ball now 25 yards from goal. Shot coming in, and it's just into the arms of Tom Heaton, right footer. And it was Lewis Cook with the shot. It's about 25-30 yards out. Dead central with the goal. Dead central off the D. Bust touch with his right foot to control. Second one. It's easy for Tom Heaton in the end, but Burnley really negative, and it's allowing Bournemouth to make these opportunities here. The latest there for Josh King, it was half a chance in the end. Here's Andre Gray, far side. We nearly need some width, certainly on the left hand side, but on the right hand side, because Arfield is not offering us anything. Is not offering Burnley anything at all, and this is the big problem. He does really need to go, and we've got an object on the pitch. Don't worry, it's it's blue, not an actual champagne bottle. It's just an inflatable there. Referee just well, let's hope he sees. He's took the wrong player off for me. Why is Scott Arfield still on the pitch? Robbie Brady's on. That's a good move. He's got one part of the substitution right, but the second part he's got wrong. I'm sorry, Dyche, but Scott Arfield deserves to take it off more than George Boyd. That's another move from Sean Dyche. I'm sorry, but Arfield, how is he still on the field? Is one of the most mysterious things I will ever know. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Burnley have made 2 changes, but Scott Arfield, amazingly, is still on the field. And people can dress it how they want about my criticism of Scott Arfield, but it's justified in my opinion, as the shot comes in from about 25 yards, and it's a right foot. In fact, it might have come, it was Westwood, I think, with the shot. Indeed it was right footed. It was not well hit, particularly well hit really, and it's gone into touch for a goal kick, which Alpha Burrich will take. He's not had much to do really, apart from one smothering save from Arfield, but Arfield really made it dead easy for him really. And here comes Westwood again now. Really difficult to tell who's alike in this one. Now, can Arfield do something here spectacularly? Oh, that was just wide again. That was better from Arfield. I'll give him a bit of credit there. Cut inside. This was good skill. Showed 2 Bournemouth players a dummy, and actually that was probably the best shot in the match. I've criticised Arfield so far today, but on this occasion, although he didn't score there, that was the best chance that Burnley have created, and Arfield, actually, that was better. And we want to see more from Scott Arfield like that, because I think he's capable enough. But it's Bournemouth now. Ball was given away, and Bournemouth had possession here with Josh King. The ball was just took a too heavy touch there. King. He's not had too much service in the game as a whole, Josh King, which will probably display his head out a little bit, although Bournemouth do deserve their goal for Stanislas. Here's Vokes now on the turn, shoots, but it's trickled along the ground. It wasn't particularly well hit by Vokes, and again straight into the arms of Arthur Burrich. But Burnley now started to make 1 or 2 things happen. I think they look a better team when Robbie Brady's on the field. But I do think, and again, I don't mean this with any malice at all or any disrespect to Scott Arfield, but Scott Arfield should be off the field, because apart from that one chance he's had right then, he's offered nothing really of any note in this game at all. Here's Arthur Burrich. Going to the 57th minute, and let's keep you up to date what's going on. There's no Football League. Obviously the regular season is finished. The playoffs start tonight. We've got Reading and Fulham at 5:30. Well, they play each other at 5:30, and then it's the All Yorkshire match on at 11:30 tomorrow morning between Huddersfield Town and Sheffield Wednesday, who lost out to Hull in last year's playoff final at the John Smith Stadium. That's where the first leg is taking place, and what a season David Blackner's side have had. Tipped to struggle at the wrong end of the championship at the start of the season, and they defied everybody. In fact, they pushed Newcastle and Brighton very, very close for most of the season, but it's just that Newcastle and Brighton had very consistent seasons, and in the end it was the 2 Derby who claimed the title. And boom, when Brighton really mucked up in the last couple of games when promotion was sealed, but they will be bitterly disappointed really. They Could have done much better here as Adam Smith now. What it does mean for the likes of Bournemouth and Southampton, we have a third team on the South Coast next season, so we're going to have some South Coast derbies. Sean Massey just getting a little bit of afters there from Adam Smith. I mean, Sean Massey's just telling him to get on with it, and she doesn't deserve that little bit of abuse. I think she got the decision right. It's not a corner, it's a goal kick. We've played an hour here at the Vitality. It's a day to forget. Well, it certainly was a day to forget for the YouTube channel at the start. And technical problems made us miss commentary of the Stanislas goal. We had technical problems, and it's not a good day on the. But we've improved in the second half, unlike Burnley, who are on the back foot now as Bournemouth come forward with Pugh. Ball back across. Pugh will pick it up again on the far side. He's had a decent match as Mark Pugh, but again, this time Burnley, that was a bit more better defensively. But again, they're not springing out and attacking. That is the problem. They're getting too many yellow shirts back, and for my liking, it's a real worry. The ball back into the penalty area, and it's Mousset with a header. But it was a tame one into the arms of Tom Heaton, just 8 yards from goal when he headed it in. But Heaton was calm and composed and a wee bit casual as he put the ball out of the air virtually on his own goal line. Here's Stephen Ward now for Burnley on the halfway line to Jeff Henrik. Now in field again. It's hard played an hour. Burnley have not really offered much. They've brought on 2 subs that so far have not made a great deal of difference. Burnley don't need to win the game. They can draw it today and they'll be mathematically safe. A draw would be good enough, but at the moment it's a defeat would not see them mathematically safe today, but a win for Crystal Palace would tomorrow. There's a chance here for Bournemouth as they cut inside at the other end. Shot coming in and over the top to the left of goal. It was Josh King, got forward. Really good football again from Bournemouth, catching Burnley here unawares. King using his strength well, getting his shot in, but wide of target. Top scorer, of course, something like 13 or 14 goals this season. Southampton have gone 2 goals clear at Middlesbrough, so Southampton having a good afternoon up in Teesside against a Middlesbrough team now who really haven't. Look at that, there's a few chickens in the crowd. Obviously Blackburn Rovers went down last week, and obviously the thing is going on there with the Venkies and all that. As Bournemouth come forward again looking to try and get a second one. But again, Stephen Ward didn't, or rather was it Long or was it Tarkowski? Well, it's hard to tell with these shirts. Shirts, it makes commentating on Burnley when they've got the yellow shirts on in bright sunshine that little bit more difficult. It might have been Kevin Long there covering back. Here's Adam Smith for Bournemouth in blue and black stripes. Cook back to Boric, who hasn't had anything at all to do in this second half, which is a real disgrace from Burnley's viewpoint. I've never been so dissatisfied with a Burnley performance for quite some time, even one under troubles. Burnley need to improve on the away record if they are to stay in the Premier League, which I'm certainly will now, but it's just been the away form has just been unbelievably bad. I know but there has been games where we should have won and been, obviously decisions have been taken out of our hands, like the ones at Arsenal. We didn't play well enough against the likes of Watford and all that. We nearly lost at Hull. These things, they need to play a lot better. And how ironic, an ex-Burnley player could decide the game. And Bournemouth here on the attack, left-hand side, ball into the penalty area. And once again, here's Stanislas into King, trying to get it back on his feet. Stanislas has it again. It's really difficult to identify players because of the sun. It's a low stadium, which makes it difficult. This is Adam Smith, shot Cross-body deflection will favour Long, who hooks it out for a throw 10 yards away from the Burnley penalty box on the near side. Adam Smith to take it. He's had a lot of space, in fact, on that right hand side, which has been, and there's going to be I think there's going to be a substitution. Well, Bournemouth player's actually gone down there. Now I don't know whether it's Mousse, in fact, who's gone down, which won't help Burnley with 25 minutes to go, because Burnley nearly need to get their fingers out and start playing some football. Elsewhere, it's let me see. Yeah, we'll just double check the Southampton scorer for you, actually, whilst we've got a breaking plate. In fact, it was Josh King there. He was tangoing there with Westwood earlier, and I think that might have been what happened there. Nathan Redmond has got Southampton's second goal after 57 minutes, and it's looking a very good day for Southampton at this precise moment. Swansea 2 up and coasting into victory at Stadium of Light. But it is Mousse who's going off. I was right the first time. There was a replay of Josh King, so I actually thought Josh King was the man to be stretched off, so I got that wrong. It's difficult in this stadium, really, when there's so much. Well, I don't know. What I do know is Bournemouth are winning, and Burnley have offered absolutely nothing in this game so far. Gray hasn't got into it so far. There's not been a chance for Brady, so Mousse has come off. He's had a couple of half chances, and in his place will come Ryan Fraser, who's a very highly rated player down here at Bournemouth. And if you want to comment in the comment section to the right hand side of the screen, you're more than welcome. Keep your comments clean, of course. 25 minutes to go, and of course you can choose the Man of the Match award, and it's open to both Burnley and Bournemouth players. So, and of course Villain of the Match makes a welcome return. So not only am I giving you the floor now to choose your Man of the Match this afternoon, I want you to choose a Villain of the Match. Who do you think has been the worst performer out of the 22 players that are featured here today? Plenty of candidates for that, certainly from a Burnley point of view, as Bournemouth come forward. Stanislas with a shot with left-footed edge of the penalty area. It curls away from the far post and into the stand for a goal kick. He's had a good afternoon against his former employers, Junior Stanislas. He's played well. He's certainly a candidate for Man of the Match. So Ryan Fraser will actually go just behind Josh King. Mousse was sort of a light replacement. Burnley really need to get in there. They've got one substitution left, and you've got the likes of Johan Berg Gudmundsson and Stephen Defoe sitting there, itching to get on, and Westwood has done nothing. And David Jones, Raheem Sterling. Well, I don't know what Raheem Sterling's got to do with this match, but anyway, here's a chance here for Burnley. Can they fashion an equaliser from somewhere? Ball in behind, but it's just hit with far too much venom. Oh, it's a frustrating afternoon for Burnley. Gray couldn't get on the end of that through ball, which was a little overhit there. Couldn't tell who it was because it's bright sun, and obviously Burnley are wearing all yellow, which doesn't make things difficult. So a bit of a mix-up really with the kick man, as Bournemouth now come in search of a second goal. Shot coming in and stayed at the near post from Heaton, and it will be a corner. And it was Josh King making something happen, the top scorer, cutting from the left-hand side, got his shot in, but Tom Heaton was well placed. Kevin Long really was poor defending there, really was poor defending. And there we are, straight at the goalkeeper. Bournemouth still coming forward. Shot for 25 yards, hit straight at the goalkeeper this time, right-footed. And, well, Lewis Cook again with the shot. Tom Heaton having a lot more to do than Arthur Burrich, and that's a real worry. Bournemouth still leading by that Stanislas goal in the 25th minute. My score prediction at the start was 2-2, but it's not going to be 2-2, I don't think, unless we see 3 goals in sort of, 22 minutes. I can't see that happening somehow. But a point would be enough for Burnley to mathematically save them. They are virtually safe, but a point would see them mathematically safe. It's been a disappointing fare from the Clarets, I have to be honest. And it's bitterly disappointing when you know, when they've paid good money, these Clarets fans, to travel a long way to watch their team in action, and yet there's been no urgency really for Burnley at all in the match so far. Here's Adam Smith now for Bournemouth, because he tries to play the ball back inside. Oh, there's a chance here. Oh, that's surely going to be a yellow card at the very least there. He's not even given a foul. He's not even given a foul against Lewis Cook. That is ridiculous. It's a foul every day of the week, Lee Probert. How is that not a yellow card? How is that not a foul? And Bournemouth at the upper end, this will be controversial if this turns out to be a second goal. It's a corner, but there should have been a free kick to Burnley. Oh, what a pathetic decision that was from Lee Probert. A total referee bottle, if ever I saw one. Really was. I felt that was a foul. Clear foul here on Vokes. He gets away and he takes out the man. That's for me is a free kick, and possibly, arguably, maybe a red card. But instead, we've got a corner. Oh, if this goes in, Burnley will be seething here. Ball on for corner in from the far near side. It'll come out here. Stanislas, the scorer, wins another one off Brady. Burnley stuck in their penalty area. Bournemouth have got them where they want them, but they've got away with one. There's no doubt about it. That was a free kick at the other end. Vokes was through, was taken out by a Bournemouth defender, and arguably could have been sent off. As the shot comes in for Martin, deflects away, and still might come here for Bournemouth inside the penalty area. Burnley have got sufficient numbers back, but can't dig it out. Oh my days, this has been a total shambles from start to finish. This absolute been a joke, really. There's been an absolute disappointment from Burnley today. It really has. I cannot emphasise that enough. But well, I'm not sure they should sign him from Briarfield Celtic. I've never heard of him. I've never seen him play. I don't know whether he'd be good enough. We need to sign some better talent than what we're seeing here at the moment, because quite frankly this has been a remarkably poor afternoon from Burnley's point of view, and maybe, just maybe, certain people need to wake up and smell the coffee here. And I have to be honest, we've seen some bad performances from players in the past few weeks. Scott Arfield, how is he get a game at Burnley these days is the most biggest mystery in the world. It really boggles the mind how he still gets to play in the team. It really does. Bournemouth, well, was it a red card? Wasn't it? Let me know in the comment section. I'm convinced that was a red card, but folks, in my opinion, stolen, got through, was taken out, in my opinion, should have seen red for it, and the referee did not. The referee did not give it at all. Absolute disgrace. And there needs to be, I really do think that the referees in this country do make decisions, ridiculous ones at that. I honestly think Vokes was through there. There's no two ways about that. He was absolutely through. Is Dan Agai good enough? I don't know. I've not really seen him play, so I don't really, I couldn't really tell you that. But what I can tell you is that that the
warning: do not enter this game if you're under 18 years old.
But we have lost again. The technical gremlins have come out to roost again. And it's all of a sudden a little bit maddening, really, when you're trying to technical gremlins. We've lost it now, and well, it's been a total nightmare for me in the commentary box, and for Burnley really today. It's been a day to forget as far as I'm concerned, and it's been I really do honestly think that Burnley have not done themselves justice on the day. They needed to play better, I felt, and they haven't done so. It's been a disgraceful performance really from Burnley, and there are certain players that need to go, in my opinion. Certainly for me, Scott Arfield needs to go. I've made no secret of the fact Arfield should go in the summer, and it's been an absolute why so negative? It's not, I don't want to be negative, David, but it's just what I've seen this afternoon. It's just not been good enough. I cannot defend some of the performances. We haven't had any width going into the final third. It's just been from start to finish. Bournemouth have stifled us, and you can't argue with that. And we do have the game back now. But it really has been a disappointing performance from Burnley Football Club here today, as Tarkowski tries to make something work. It's not been a good afternoon really. I'd like to be positive, guys, but it's just very difficult to. When you've won one game all season, it's not good enough really, and it's just been disappointing. It's totally been a shambolic really. It's just been a we've totally lost everything. The Gremlins have really hit us very hard today. We may have to rework the match again a bit later on, or you give us there. But I'm sorry that the Gremlins have really hit home. It's been disappointing all day around the YouTube channel. We were hoping to make the Clarets Match Live a really good one for you, but instead of which, it's been an absolute. The Gremlins have really struck us, and I hope that doesn't strike us when we cover the cup final in a couple of weeks' time. It really would be, and I'm so annoyed. Not just for myself, but for you guys who take the time to come on here, subscribe to the channel, listen to what my opinions are, and really, it's just been from start to finish. A nightmare, all concerned. I really do want this stream to end. We will do a full classified check and we'll try and get hold of Sean Dyche. But at the moment it's been a really, really bad afternoon for all concerned, and also the commentating, also the weather and the shirts as well haven't made it so easy as well. So it's all going horribly wrong. We've lost the lot at the moment. Everything has just gone down. So we're having to battle with. I think we're something about 10 minutes to go, David. I think something like that now. I'm sort of guessing at the moment, but I know guessing isn't good enough. But it's just been one of those days where things have just gone wrong. And Tuga Live, I think he's from Portugal. Well, hello to you from Portugal. Come and subscribe to us. We do often. It's not often that things go wrong in these live broadcasts from my end. But unfortunately, we've totally been like a sinking ship, really. It's really all gone down from here. I have to say, the 45 minutes I have seen, I'll describe to you now, it's just been, from start to finish, an absolute load of really rubbish. We've got about 10 minutes to go. Middlesbrough pull one back against Southampton, I can tell you that. But and also I've also been hearing that David Moyes may well, the fans have had enough with him, and they want him out at the moment. And well, one can understand the feelings of the players. There's no two ways about that. But there you are. That's the nature, I'm afraid, of the beast. Sunderland fans making their feelings quite plain. And I mean, it could be worse. You could be a Sunderland fan, and you know they've not really, apart from Jermaine Defoe, really, they haven't really done enough, really. Defoe or Dyche, I don't know. I don't read into what goes on with press speculations. We are back now. We have sort of got the gremlins sorted out now, and hopefully now we'll have a good 10-minute spell as the cross comes in from the far side, and it's out of play for a goal kick. So we are back live now. It's always difficult when you've got stuff like this going on. When you lose the signals and everything else, it's so difficult. But I hope I've kept you talking. I hope I've kept you interested throughout. Well, the BBC are saying that Scott Arfield has been one of the better players. I tend to disagree with that. But Johan Berg-Gudmundsson has come on, so Burnley are still in with a shout. Now, hopefully now with the two wingers on, it will give him more width. Now, obviously he's been on for something like 6 minutes. They've had a couple of corners, but nothing to write home about thus far. 2-1 to Southampton and 2-0 to Swansea elsewhere. Arsenal play at 5:30, and they actually play at 5:30. They play Stoke City at the Britannia Stadium. Meanwhile, here at the Vitality, it's Dan Gosling now for Bournemouth, 25 yards from goal. Tries to slip it into Stanislas. Gosling gets the ball back. Lovely 1-2s again. The shot coming in, deflected away, and it still might drop here. David Jones, don't give the score away if that is the case. Burnley still have it. Burnley still trying to defend. Please do not give the score away because it spoils the enjoyment of the commentary. Here's the shot coming in from something like 30 yards out, and again it might have been, I'm just trying to make it who it is in the sunshine. Lewis Cook, I think, with the shot. Goal kick. Coming up towards 83 minutes on the clock. Can Burnley snatch an equaliser, which would certainly give them Premier League football for next season? Mathematically. Here's Robbie Brady, near side. Cuts in field now to Henrik. Can Burnley save themselves? They've been unbelievably poor today. But surely something's got to come from this cross. Headed in! And yes, it's been headed in! 1-1! Sam Vokes has got it with a header from just around the penalty spot. And Burnley may have just saved themselves. And there's 2,500 Clarets who have made a 600-mile round journey. They haven't seen really much from them up until then. But that could be a moment in Burnley's season which will live long in the memory. Sam Vokes has headed it in. There's the ball played in. And there's the header, crossing from the right-hand side. And that's the value of having players like Johan Berg Gudmundsson and Robbie Brady on the field. The ball knocked in. And 1-1. If only he'd made those substitutions sooner, maybe Burnley could have come back and won it. They could still win it conceivably. There's still enough time left in the game to do it. 6 minutes, but... David Jones does ask, why so negative? Well, when you've been a Burnley fan for as long as I have, David, for about something like 20 odd years, you tend to get a little bit pessimistic from time to time. But it's 1-1 now. And maybe, just maybe, taking Scott Arfield off has made a huge difference. Maybe, just maybe. They need to get Scott Arfield and drop him. And Bournemouth has scored in the other end. Oh no! It's all gone horribly wrong for Burnley defensively. The shot coming in. I can't tell who the scorer is. The sunlight is beaming down. It's Josh King of all people, who's not really had too much to do. And Burnley have messed it up for themselves, good and proper. It's 2-1 to Bournemouth. And Burnley will be furious. A point slipped away. They've worked so hard to get back in the game. And then they go and give away a silly goal like that. Unbelievably poor, right-footed shots inside the area beyond Tom Heaton's left-hand side dive. 5 minutes to go. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1, and really pathetic defending again from the Clarets. This is why I get so angry and negative about things. And here it is again on the replay. Ball knocked in. Poor defending, it has to be said. Really was. And this is where we missed our two big centre halves, really, Keane and me. And this was just poor defending from Kevin Long. It was just absolute. In fact, it wasn't Kevin Long. I'm doing it instead. It's poor defending from Tarkowski. He should be getting there. He's goal side of the defender. And absolutely dross defending, it has to be said, from James Tarkowski. Simply not good enough by half. 4 minutes to go. Bournemouth backing from 2-1. Brady with a cross in. Poor cross, goal kick. Sums up the afternoon in a nutshell for the Clarets, doesn't it? Really does. I'm so angry, because why get yourselves back in with a chance at 2-all and then make silly errors like that? Boggles the mind. Really does boggle the mind. I've never known it such like that. I know David is trying to be positive, but I cannot be positive, because when we give away silly goals like that, Tarkowski to me just to take the blame, because that is just unbelievably poor defending. Unbelievably poor defending. I just cannot believe it. People will be thinking to me, are you out of your mind, JB? I'm certainly not out of my mind. I'm just telling it how I see it, and basing it on what I think is right and what's wrong. And there's plenty wrong with the Burnley performance today, there's no doubt about it. It's improved a bit in the second half. Folks got a great header, and then all of a sudden, not 90 seconds later, Josh King steals, somehow gets on the wrong side of Tarkowski. Let's be fair, Tarkowski's goal side of him should be doing an awful lot better, and that is probably the easiest goal that Josh King will score all season long. It's just, really, it's been an appalling day for Burnley. They may well stay up tomorrow, considering if Hull get something from the game, but if Hull don't win. But even so, just not good enough. Not good enough by half. And Sean Dyche needs to take a long hard look in the mirror, because this has not been good enough. It really hasn't. And there has to be questions asked of the way Burnley have defended thus far in this game. And there's another corner one. I can't tell. I'll tell you, it is. The sun is really killing me now. Really killing here now. And quite honestly, it's been an unbelievable nightmare. Not just for me in the commentary box. Same thing happened. Same thing happened at Rangers v Hearts, except it's poor defending and it's poor defence. Not a poor defender, not a poor goalkeeper. Well, I cannot fathom how Burnley have somehow chucked possibly away a match they should have got a point from here. And I am so disappointed. It really does show on the face. And well, this was not meant to be the last. Well, the Clarets Match Live was not meant to be like this way, really, to be honest. It was meant to hopefully be a happy occasion, but it's not going to happen this way, I'm afraid. It's going to probably end in a 2-1 reverse, and really, it was Fraser who put the ball in there, but that should be a lot better. We're now coming to the business end of the second half now, but it's just simply not been good enough by half today. It really hasn't, and there have got to be questions asked, and something's gone on there, but we've got 5 added minutes at the end now. It's a bit of a godsend, but will they be enough? Burnley have wasted one of those minutes. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1, and we may have to do a Clarets Match delay, because this Clarets Match Live has been a complete disaster from start to finish, and I don't really miss goals, but we will rework the commentary maybe a bit later on another time, because really, and this, I mean this in no disrespect to the people that have tuned in today, but the commentary, the gremlins have let us down, and I think you guys deserve a bit more of a better commentary than what I could have offered you today. Partly my fault, partly the technical problems, of course, that's preceded us today. So we may well rerun the commentary again for you a bit later on, if we can get the footage, and rerun it a little bit this evening, but it's just not been good enough by half today, and Burnley have let themselves down big time, but they might still do something here with Ward, near side. Ward needs support. He's got it with Brady. Brady, that's not a good cross. Still might come here for Westwood. Westwood chips that into towards the penalty area. Can Burnley snatch a late point, maybe? They need to do something, otherwise it's all over. As far as this game is concerned, it'll be a disappointing defeat. It'll hurt, that is for sure. And there will be questions asked of certain players, including Scott Arfield. Why did they turn in a very abject display? I know they've scored, and I know they've got good quality on the field now, but why wasn't the quality introduced at half time? That just sums it up. Ward there, completely slipping. I've just banged my fist on the table in complete and utter frustration. Bournemouth, don't get me wrong, Bournemouth deserve to be winning the game, and they deserve everything they get right now, because they've performed magnificently and superbly, but Burnley really need to wake up and smell some coffee, because this performance really has just not been good enough, and it just hasn't been good enough by halves today. You cannot argue with scorelines so far, because it's been poor defended. And here goes an opportunity, a ball back across. Is it going to be 3-1? No, but it's a foul, certainly. Well, we all thought, and it's oh dear me. Frustration boiling over. Jordan Ibe with the run on the near side. It really has been from start to finish really rubbish. Free kick. Well, if only, could Bournemouth have been reduced to 10 men? Would it have been a different story? Well, who knows? Who knows? But it's just not been good enough. First half, unacceptable. Second half, almost certainly unacceptable. Eddie Howe's team probably, on balance, deserve to be winning the game anyway, but let's make it quite clear. Bournemouth have been the better team. There's no two ways about that. They've hustled and harried and really made Burnley play negative football, and it has been negative. We're now in the last 10 seconds. Burnley are not going to stay up today, that's for sure, but they haven't done themselves any favours at all. The selection from Sean Dyche was not good enough. I don't think the team that he selected was good enough. I think they should have started with Andre Gray. I think they should have started with the likes of Johan Berg-Gudmundsson, Stephen Defoe and Robbie Brady. Drop the likes of Scott Arfield, who has not been good enough. As the referee blows for time, Bournemouth have won it. Well done to Bournemouth and anyhow. They sign off their home campaign with a deserved win. But I'm sorry, Burnley fans, I'm sorry. But that was just not good enough. And Sean Dyche, as well as you've done this season, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, because your selections today was completely and utterly dross. And do you know what? I have just had a comment on social media that just one word that just sums up the Burnley performance here this afternoon. Despicable. Despicable. Utterly despicable. Not good enough by half. Burnley have been beaten, rightly so. It's just been embarrassment after embarrassment on away from home. The wrong team was selected. Absolute load of rubbish. Burnley have been beaten. Well done to Bournemouth. They've done absolutely brilliantly. And, it's just not been good enough. And when you've got players like Scott Arfield it's been poor today. He is not fit to wear the shirt, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, half of them today are certainly not fit to wear the shirt. I mean, the performance they've put in front of 3,000 Clarets who have travelled a 600-mile round trip has been nothing short of rubbish. Really it has, and but we will rework the game again. This Clarets Match Live will not end up having to be in the archives for obvious reasons, but I'm afraid to say it's been a bad day for Burnley, beaten 2-1 by Bournemouth. But me, JB, ta-ra.